Alright guys, so after work today, I had a side job that I went to. I was going to go paint a shed, right? And I'm painting a shed, and there was this one area of the shed that I wasn't supposed to hit with the paint, right? And I'm painting the shed, I'm rolling and stuff. All of a sudden, my roller flips off the end, and boom, I got it in the area I shouldn't have got it. So here's what I do. I go and I grab some paint thinner, right? It's basically, for people who don't know what that is, it thins the paint so you can wipe it off with a rag. So I put the paint thinner on the rag, I wipe away the thing, and I'm like, well, crud, Ruben, you might do that again, so might as well put it in your pocket. I put a lot of paint thinner on that rag. So I have it in my pocket, and I just keep on rolling away, back and forth. Wall's getting done on the shed that I'm painting, and I'm like, wow, it's looking great. And I'm like, wow, something feels weird. I was like, something is off. Wow, my leg feels like it's freezing. It's like, wow, now my leg feels like it's burning. I got a giant chemical burn on my leg, and it hurt so bad. Because what had happened, I put the rag in my pants, in my pocket, and the paint thinner bled through the side of my pocket, right onto my thigh, and spot out that big of just giant chemical burn. It hurt a lot. So it got me thinking. I know it's kind of a weird story to get here, but it got me thinking about complaining and complaining's place in a man's life and where it's necessary and where it's not. So let's get right into it. Alright, so when it comes to complaining, what is necessary and what is unnecessary? Those are the things that I kind of ask myself is like, when I'm complaining about something, I try and think, well, should I really be complaining about it? Alright, and I'm not one of those people who's going to tell you you should never complain, because I think there are things that totally warrant complaining about because they just stink, okay? There are times in your life where you go through struggles, and sometimes it's good to complain. Complaining doesn't mean that you're, talking about something that's not actually happening and it's not true. It's like complaining can sometimes be completely valid and, make sense in the circumstances that you're in. If you've got a bad turn in life and stuff just isn't going your way and everything's going bad, yeah, sometimes complaining to someone, it helps a little bit. But what you don't want to do, in my opinion, if you're a guy, is because, like I said, these are all kind of positions that I hold and, how I kind of look at the world. But if there's a guy that is constantly complaining about his life and that's all he does, and he never really offers, to talk about potential solutions to the problems he faces, but he just wants to complain. He gets kind of a high off of complaining. I usually lose some respect for that person. And, listen, first off, like I said, I complain a decent amount, and sometimes I complain when it's not warranted, and that's my bad. Sometimes I complain about trivial stuff that's just stupid, that it's like, when I look back at it, I'm like, Ruben, come on, really, man? You really had to complain about that? That's ridiculous. There's so many worse things that could have happened in that circumstance. But even with my coworkers and stuff, when we're working together, it's like sometimes, I'm in construction. Sometimes you just got to get through really cruddy periods of time where you're doing just nasty, not fun, or super tedious, meticulous work, and we'll complain about that. And it's a communal complaining. It kind of brings us together. It helps us get through that time period of really working on that just terrible project or whatever it is. And so complaining can actually bond people, in my opinion. That's been my experience with it. Sometimes it can bond people together. If you're complaining about the same thing, you're kind of empathizing with each other. But if you're a loner and you're complaining, like I said, sometimes it's warranted, but oftentimes I think it's important for a guy to think about before he starts complaining. Is this worth complaining about? As a man, I think you should think about what you're complaining about and whether it's really worth the emotional output that you're gonna, or the emotional input, I guess, you'll get from complaining, right? Sometimes, like I said, you got stuff you gotta complain about. You gotta get off your chest to other people, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're a guy that's complaining all the time, that's all you do, and you never offer solutions to fix the problems that you are complaining about, well then I think that's not a very manly trait. I would say you need to kind of prioritize how you talk to other people. and not make it about complaining all the time. But anyways, that's just a thought I had after burning my leg with paint thinner. So there you go. That's my random thought for the day. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching Man in the Making. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.